I've tried to film this video 2 other times. This is my 3rd time, so 3rd time's the charm. The reason why it didn't work out the 2nd time is because I ended up in the ER for appendicitis. We'll get into that, but let me show you the first attempt. Hey guys, welcome back. How is it already another week? I have no idea. And first up, I'm dog sitting for the next 3 nights. This is Tex. Last night was my first night with him. We're also going to be working on some wedding projects and then hopefully going on a morning hike or doing something outdoors. The second attempt. I started filming a few days ago and I started editing the video and I just did not like how it was churning out. So we're starting over. There are a few things that I want to take that I already filmed and I'm just going to do videos over my voice or insert those clips. But as you saw, I was watching a dog named Tex for 3 nights. And this dog had so much personality. He was so easygoing as well. And I actually ended up bringing him over to my parents' house because I was working on my wedding DIY project, which if you saw in last week's video, that's what I was working on, and I have a lot of bottles to get done. That couldn't have been a more perfect timing because when I got here, it arrived. So this has 12 different colors from brown, pink, sky blue, red, green, black, navy blue, violet, grape purple, sunset yellow, lemon yellow, grass green. So I'm super excited about this and I'm gonna start mixing and get colors going and I will show you. So let's cue into a montage. And my parents have chickens. The chickens and Tex and the chickens did not really know how to feel about each other. So anytime he went outside, we just put him on the leash. There's another video I want to insert of Tex sleeping because he likes to nuzzle his way into blankets. And I went to look at the end of the bed because he was snoring and his face was underneath the throw blanket. I also did some Uber Eats the last few days. And my fiance and I booked our flights for our honeymoon, which is super exciting. That's all we got planned so far, but it's a start. We are both very type B and wait last minute to do everything. So we're very much go with the flow. It's supposed to be raining these next few days because of the hurricane, which last night, my last night with Tex, there was really bad thunder and he was not having it. And there was some slight rain. Now it was supposed to rain a lot more today and it has not. And it's supposed to rain on Saturday and I believe Sunday. We shall see. And one last thing before we get this new vlog started. Someone commented on one of my videos saying, after you're married, what will your content look like? So I kind of just want to touch base on this. Now, my content has always been to just film my life and document it. So that's not going to change. So altogether, after we're married, I will be focusing on my small business. And if you didn't know, I do have a small business called Faithful Nomadic Finds. And I would find things from sea glass, shark teeth and make jewelry pieces out of them. Now I still have a lot of sea glass and shark teeth to make more pieces of. I also want to grow my business in a little other direction, not just jewelry. So that will be very exciting. I have put my small business on a hold. Before I backpacked Mexico, I really stopped and I haven't picked it back up yet. So when it comes to the new year, I will be putting a lot more into that. I will also be doing a lot more cooking. There's going to be home projects. And then when we do travel, I will film some of it. Oh, I should mention, we will be getting a dog in the very near future as well. So that will be another thing that I share because I think it'd be fun to do the whole dog training process. Now that you're all caught up, the last night I was watching Tex, I had this weird knot below my belly button, lower stomach, and anytime I would stretch, it would feel like the resistance of the knot. I didn't really think too much about it. And the next day, the knot wasn't necessarily there. I just had pain in my lower stomach. I went about my day, started filming for the second time because I didn't like how the first time was churning out. Friday afternoon, my pain was a little bit more, like my stomach was getting hard. And then Friday night, it got to the point where it was like, this is weird. I couldn't really sit normal. Like, it wasn't comfortable if I like sat up straight. I needed to be hunched over. And in my head, I just figured that I was extremely backed up. Then that evening is where everything took a turn. I ended up taking a hot bath, and I think that's where things really went wrong, because later I found out if you have appendicitis flare up, you should actually be putting ice, and I was in a hot bath. And the pain just started getting worse, and then it started getting more localized on my right side, and it would just be like everywhere. Like, it would shoot like everywhere and in my lower back. And it wasn't extremely bad. Like, it was tolerable. It was just annoying, and it was enough to keep me up at night. And so, you know, I'm starting to Google, oh, what could this be? And then I had chills going on, so I went and took my temperature, ended up having a temperature of 101.3, and then I was getting really nauseous. And at this point, it's 2-3 a.m. So I decided if I vomit, I'm going to the ER. Never ended up vomiting, was able to like fall asleep here and there, but I would just wake up, and the only way I could lay is on my left side, but I typically sleep on my side, so that also wasn't really weird, but that was the most comfortable for my stomach. So then morning time came, I'm walking around, having to be like slightly hunched over, couldn't be straight. I was like, you know, I think this might be something serious. So I go to my dad's office, and I was like, I think I need you to take me to the ER. He gets up, let's go. At this point, my fever is gone, just the pain. So I go in, hand them my stuff. I'm sitting in the back hallway. The one doctor was like, from your symptoms, it looks like you might have an appendicitis, but we're gonna do blood work. We'll do a CT scan to be sure and make sure nothing else is going on, because it could also be your gallbladder. I went in, I was like, look, I'm either extremely constipated or something else is going on. So on the way to the ER, I called my fiance, and he got in his truck, drove to the ER. Then he got there, I already had my blood drawn. They went to take me to get a CT scan, and while this is happening, I'm looking at what they're sending me. My blood test came in saying my white blood cells were really high, and that was just like an indicator that I had an infection. And then the CT scan came in, and it was kind of like an automatic, all right, we're gonna prep surgery, without like even really talking to me, which honestly, if it was a life or death situation, I wish they would have been like, we gotta get you into surgery now. For me, and knowing my body, I was like, I know I'm not in severe pain, so hold on, I want to talk to someone. And at this rate, they're also giving me the first round of antibiotics. And I think the reason also why they were rushing is because I already didn't eat or drink anything that morning, and obviously they want to do this surgery when you haven't had anything to eat or drink. So I get it in that sense, but they handed me the CT scan results on paper, and it said mild inflammation, 11 millimeter, I had an ovarian cyst on my left side that was pretty small. And when the surgeon came in, I asked if I could go the antibiotic route. He said I would be a candidate for it since I have no other issues going on. I don't have stones in my stool, I don't have an absent, I don't know why I can't say that word, or like a rupture has occurred, and the fact that I'm 29 years old and healthy. So then this other lady came in, and we're asking about statistics, and she said it's 30 to 40% that it's going to come back, but they're giving you the range of every age. They're not giving it specifically to your category. My category is 15 to 20%, that it reoccurs within 6 months to 5 years. And who knows, maybe once I'm done with the antibiotics, it's gonna flare up again, and then obviously I'm gonna be like, all right, let's go. So at this point in time, I'm doing great, I'm doing good. I'm on day, is it 6 or 7 of antibiotics? Oh wait, yeah, day 6 of antibiotics. I'm doing great. I was doing good around day 3. The one thing that I found really odd is we had 2 or 3 people telling us, oh, we're gonna get your hospital room and then we'll start you on all your antibiotics, because they were gonna want me to stay. And I was like, which is another thing, the second I got there, we'll give you pain meds. I'm like, yeah, that'll be $700 for a dose of something. And so I said no, because I'm like, I'm already handled the pain. And that was the other thing. My pain never progressed. Like, I was just at that same pain from that night. Like, it never got worse and it wasn't getting better. I was just like stuck. I was like, I can handle this. I already handled the same amount of pain for 9 hours, 10 hours at this rate, which is another good thing that I didn't, because they probably would have been like, yeah, you can't go home now because you won't be able to feel the pain. When the surgeon was talking to us, he was like, oh yeah, we'll get you your antibiotics and you're good to go. And I just look at my fiance like, what? you're the surgeon and you're telling me I'm good to go home, and then you have these 3 other people saying like, we're prepping the hospital room for you. So that already sent me on like, what? Like, I don't know. Again, while I was sitting there and we're going through this whole commotion, I'm getting that first round of antibiotics, and I'm telling you, I'm already feeling better. I wasn't obviously a night or day difference, but I could feel it working. So yeah, we're doing great. We're doing good. But if you could continue to pray for me, that would be awesome. And at this point now, I could just have an elective one. So later in the future, if it doesn't reoccur, which I really hope it doesn't reoccur, it will be a topic for other future things. Like, do I just want to get this out so I don't have to deal with it? And when I do go and be like, hey, I want my appendix out, I can be like, I already had a flare up, so, and it's not going to be like, well, let's do results, let's do this. I can just hand them this paperwork, or they can look up my file, whatever it may be. So it's been a little bit of a crazy time, because on top of this, I'm planning a wedding, a honeymoon, and I'm moving. So there's just a lot. Monday, my mom and I had an appointment with a florist, and she had an emergency, so she had to get on a flight. The lady that was there doesn't do wedding stuff, so she wasn't really sure, but she was so helpful, so nice. She got us started. So now when my mom and I go in today, we have like a general idea. It's just putting it all together. It is much later. My mom and I went to the florist to get everything finalized, and I'm super excited for how it's gonna turn out. And then we went to this antique shop, and I need to go back there because it is absolutely insane. There are so many things. I kept getting distracted. We were there on a mission to find plates because I'm doing a bunch of different variations of plates, and we hit the jackpot there. We basically have all the plates now, which is awesome. But when I tell you, I kept getting sidetracked, like, oh, I need this. And they had such good prices too. And they had so many clothes. I didn't have time to go look at clothes, but there was a few things I was eyeing from a distance. Wow, 10 out of 10 place. I need to go back like tomorrow. I won't, but it really is an amazing place. So if you're in Arizona or you're visiting Arizona, you need to go there. Something else I want to mention, the day after I was in the ER, so Sunday, my fiance and I went to church, and then after church, we drove to Flagstaff. Should I really have done something like that after having appendicitis? I mean, technically I still have appendicitis. I really wanted to see the fall colors, and that weekend was peak. So I didn't want to wait this whole next weekend and all the leaves have already fallen, which a lot of the leaves were already on the ground. So I am so happy we went. I'm not gonna lie, we didn't do like an insane hike. I believe we ended up walking a little over a mile, and for the most part, everything was flat. But I will say there was a few times I had to like walk slightly uphill. I was so out of breath, and it was like the smallest incline, but we just took our time and it was really good. And even though we just went and did that, we didn't do anything else. We drove to see trees and then drove back. It was so good though. I love the fall. I have stickers on my leg. I don't know when that got there. I'm glad I noticed that now before I'm walking around. Anyways, I'm gonna do a little bit of Uber Eats. Oh, and my hair tie just broke. I am a mess. I don't have another hair tie. I have one somewhere. I'm falling apart. See, I do. Except for it's kind of old. All right. It's the next day. I'm at the post office, so I'm opening up these packages. These are all free samples from TikTok Shop. An actual deodorant. This super pretty silk dress. This denim skirt. A person came in and I got nervous. Anyways, look at this floral dress. It's so cute. And lastly, these toilet cleaners. I'm gonna end this video here. It's still probably a hot of a mess, but we made it through.